Most of the blacks that fit this description that I'm talking about now in these pockets of our nation, they come from black church tradition. They know about, if you ask them, does God exist, or do they believe in God, or have they heard of God, or do they know anything about righteous behavior? They're not so far gone that they don't know what that's about. They've heard these things. This is a part of our life, but we have degenerated to the point, well, that's not even, it doesn't shape our behavior. It doesn't shape our thinking anymore. The spirit over this group of African-American people is the spirit of the age of ignorance, pagan culture. The stripper culture is very big in places like Miami and Atlanta and in Tennessee, the state. I'm saying the whole state, not necessarily the whole state of Georgia, but definitely in Atlanta. These centers in stripper culture, the culture of strippers, it influences hip hop culture. And hip hop culture even influences the college campuses. It influences our young people in the high school. And you all don't have to take my word for it. If you don't know it already, just look around and see. And the spirit of stripper culture, the spirit of the dominant rap music that's dominant. I'm not speaking about, again, I've said this on this channel before, you know, you always get a few people who hip hop was designed to express our consciousness. Nobody listens to those people like that. When I'm around young people, and when I hear what they play, they're not listening to these conscious guys. They're not listening to Food for Thought. They're listening to the Sexy Red type, the drill rap, the again, sex, drugs, murder. That's what they're listening to. And if we can't admit that, then we're really not prepared to engage in any manner of reform. Like if you come to the doctor and say, hey, doctor, I got a problem. The doctor has to be able to properly assess you to see, okay, what's really hurting you? What are you really engaged in? If he's going to be able to prescribe anything of use. And we have to just admit, there's no more KRS-Ones. And if they are, no one knows about them in a major way. We know about, you know, and not only this, look, when you go online and you see what trends, like I use Sexy Red, that just was on my mind. When she came out with that song Pound Town, I'm not going to recite the lyrics here. In the future, I'm going to have some lyrics. I'm going to read them. But that's the introduction. Go look up Pound Town. Go look that song that Cardi B came out with. Read the lyrics. There's nothing that there's no redeeming value in that at all. And understand that this language trends. Like I'm on TikTok and I need somebody to take me to Pound Town. Oh, I can't wait tonight so I can go to Pound Town. Oh, I'm about to go to my girl's house and take her to Pound Town. We accept the behavior. We accept the language. We are like when these things are introduced to us, we accept that introduction and it forms our nature, not our nature, but it forms our behavior. Another thing, don't bring up, don't mention, or don't be distracted by what Caucasians do, what whites do. That's not what we're talking about. This is not Islam in white America. This is not Islam we're talking about Islam in black America. That's why I'm keeping this sort of focus. I don't, I always hear these arguments. Oh, well, white people consume more rap music than we do. That's because there's more of them. It's numerically more of them. And so what if they do? If this man can if this man can drink something and it has a worse effect, it has a worse effect on his body than another man who drinks the same thing and it doesn't affect his body as bad, then that one man who has the worst effect, he has to not drink that thing, that substance or that juice or whatever it is. And it is what it is. A good example, I didn't want to say it, like alcohol. If a guy is bigger and thicker, he can drink a beer and he can hold it. If a person is skinny and they drink it, they say it hits the blood quicker. Maybe he has a faster metabolism or whatever the case may be. So when we as a community or when we as a group engage a certain type of poison or intoxicant, it affects our system more. And there's a lot more to be said about that because it can be argued that up until relatively recently, whites have had more examples about what they could be. So when they listen to the rap, they can engage it, be entertained by it, but they also had other role models to aspire towards. Whereas for the young man, the young black man in the ghetto, in the hood, when he sees the rapper made it big, that becomes his hero. He doesn't have anything else competing with that in terms of what he wants to become. I experienced this. I remember I shared this before too. I experienced how I gave a test to my students years ago. And I remember asking the boys every year, middle school boys, what do you all want to be? What do you all want to do? And all of them said rap, basketball, or football. All the time. It's like 6th, 7th grade. And I used to play with them like during gym time. None of them were any good. And there was only one boy who said he wanted to be like an archaeologist, I believe. He was the only one. I mean, so this is out of like 100 boys. But anyway, so this culture, this trend in our culture, or this trend in black culture, it takes the most despicable elements of our behavior. It takes the elements that have corroded our families, corroded our neighborhoods, corroded our academic performance. Again, drugs. We know how drugs have destroyed communities. We know how the selling of drugs, despite whatever the law was, whether those laws were just or unjust, we know that they've gotten rid of so many of our fathers. We know, everyone knows about the destructive nature of just taking life. These things are prevalent in our community, but we have a culture that celebrates. We have a culture that celebrates the destruction of our own people. And we cannot point to one thing of merit, of lasting value that we can say has been produced for the benefit of our community based upon rap culture, ghetto culture, hood culture. We have the proliferation of the baby mama phenomena. Baby mama is a term now that came in a rap first. Baby Daddy was the first song that I remember, and then I remember 3 6 Mafia with Baby Mama. And these things we rap them and pop and dance to them. The proliferation of the STDs or STIs, whatever they call them now, in our communities, affecting our women at huge rates. When we were in Milwaukee, this is when I tested that group of students. They came out with a report. They did a blood drive out of high school. They had to give the blood back, or they throw it away, not give it back, but they had to throw all of the blood away. All of the blood was contaminated with diseases. Even when you go to places like a few years ago, Howard University. Now, Howard is an achievement of Black excellence, but they're having these STD breakouts because of sexual immorality. This culture, and it can be argued, again, I'm not talking about any other group right now. I'm talking about the jahiliyyah, or the polytheistic behavior that we can see today amongst our people. It can be argued that Black culture is hyper sex driven, materialistic, but we see our neighborhoods decimated, and we celebrate. You know, we say, oh, this rapper bought 10 houses on his block. That's small stuff. I have friends who do that, regular guys who do that. But we have a culture of men, women too, who make millions of dollars and who have millions of people who are influenced by them. But they don't do anything of lasting value. There's nothing being done of lasting value to construct and to build up our people. Now, it's not just Black hood culture. I would say it's just our Black culture, period. We just had Beyonce come to Atlanta. And I said this a few years ago when I was giving cookbars at the Atlanta Masjid. I never seen Black women dress up like cowgirls my whole life. That was never a thing. Now Black women are all cowgirls. Now they got cow hats and cow this. And come on, what does this tell you? I'm not even knocking the fact that it shows you. I'm not knocking the fact that people accept new styles or new trends, whatever. Somebody bought me this hat. I would have never bought this Kufi before. When he bought it, I said, oh, it looks nice. I put it on as a gift. Okay, fine. It's okay to accept things new, But the fact that a whole demographic of people can have their behavior and sensitivity changed by a star, or what they call them in this society, an idol, lets you know that we live in a culture. Now, this is America, period. We live in a culture of idolatry. We live in an idolatrous culture. And one person can send out a signal and change the behavior of a whole group of women, or a whole group of men, or a whole group of boys, or a whole group of girls. This is something that we have to be aware of. And I ask you, what have we seen? What have we been able to locate? What can we identify as the redeeming value of any of this? What has Black culture, I'm talking Black popular culture, what does it produce for us? We are no longer, we are at the bottom of education. They say in a decade or more, Black wealth, Black net worth will be at zero. So we're definitely not advancing in terms of business. We are leading in terms of the contraction of new diseases. We still lead in abortions. We don't show out to vote. Our political efficacy is nothing. So every real category that would indicate social progress, we're either at the lowest rank or non-existent. Yet at the same time, when we look at popular behavior, popular trends, the popular influences that are dominant over our life, we can see very clearly that none of the dominant influences that are over our life have any aim or interest to lift us up as individuals, as families, and as communities. And this is the equivalent. We have become a polytheistic people. We will claim Christianity, we will claim whatever, but our spirit is being shaped by the polytheistic influence in this society.
There is no better source to start this hour than our own Fareed Zakaria on all of this, and he joins me now. And Fareed, obviously, just to give everyone, I was at the White House all day. To catch everyone up, what had happened is before Prime Minister Netanyahu even got there, Trump was suggesting that Palestinians should leave Gaza, that it's not livable, that it's going to take 10 to 15 years to rebuild because of all the destruction there from the Israeli strikes since October 7th, since this war started. Then he repeated it again in the Oval Office with Netanyahu seated by his side. And then he came out at that press conference, and that is when he made the news on his own without being asked by a reporter about the U.S. taking over the Gaza Strip. Obviously an extraordinary statement from an American president. What are your takeaways, Fareed?
So this is a clip of a video from CNN regarding the president's statement, President Trump, that the U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip and own it. This is how they titled it. I'm a little late to respond to this. I was just busy this week being involved in some other things, but usually we react to religious issues, but we also take up some social things. In this particular war between the Gazan people, Palestine and Israel, it has some heavy religious implications. And then there's some serious moral considerations when you think about the fact of the president of this country, or any president for that matter, speaking about a situation such as this in the manner that he did. But let's hear from Fareed Zakaria and the CNN respondent here. Let's see what they have to say.
Well, it's breathtaking, and one doesn't really know where to begin. You asked the central question, Caitlin, which is, where would these people go? There are 2 million Palestinians in Gaza who have lived through several wars, several incredibly intense bouts of violence with Israel because they want to live on their land. As you say, the neighboring countries, Egypt and Jordan, have both categorically and repeatedly said that they're not going to take people in. So it's not entirely clear how this happens. The United States would have to invade Gaza, would have to expel Hamas, would have to conduct counterinsurgency operations against an insurgency there that would exist, would also have to persuade Egypt and Jordan to take these refugees. And, one has to point out, outside of all the geopolitical issues that raises, this is a president who came in saying he wanted to focus on America first. He didn't want us engaging in any grand global projects. Well, I mean, this is another war in the Middle East. And the last
Hold on, I have a comment, but let me hear what he says.
war in the Middle East we took part in ended up stretching out much longer, was much more complicated, and cost about $2 trillion. So, it seems very unlikely that this can go smoothly. You can imagine American power forcing the Egyptians to do something, forcing the Jordanians to do something, but you're going to have to put military on the ground to get Hamas to cede power, to get the Palestinians to move, to secure that area.
Okay, I can't. Wow, I can't listen to. I have to say this. So it's clear that CNN can't be trusted. They want to present themselves as the opposite of Fox News. At least that's what last time I was watching the news, that's what the vibe I got, or the impression that I got. CNN is clearly a part of an agenda. Everything he said had to do with strategy, logistics. That's not even what's on the table right now. The real issue is a moral issue. They're not even, he's speaking as though, okay, this is a legitimate, at least, in other words, he's speaking as though, well, he does have this as an option. This could be done, but look at the logistical problems in the way of such a thing being done. The reality is, no, this cannot be done. It's morally, ethically wrong from a humanitarian perspective. No president, no leader has the right to look at a sovereign nation and a sovereign people and say, well, your land has been destroyed. We'll take possession of it. We'll own it, build a Riviera, whatever they said in another segment, and we can just move you. This is just wrong. It's morally wrong, and it's taking the world backwards, because the world supposedly had evolved from, or we had been in the process of evolving out of imperialism, colonialism. But this position of our president is an imperialist, colonialist position, straight up, no chaser. That's what it is. So the very fact that he's even talking about this issue as if the issue is a problem from the logistics of it, the military, the problem that we'll have on the ground with insurgents, that's not even the subject. The issue is, this is insanely wrong. And this is against the international law to do something like this. So clearly then, if the CNN people, maybe they have some other segments where they've taken this position, but if the CNN people are not even addressing it from that standpoint, that tells me that they're bought and sold. There's an agenda already in the minds of these people. This is an immoral, unethical, devilish position to take. We don't have the authority to plan out the lives of other people against their will, a sovereign people. And if the United States should do anything, if it is truly in the spirit of righteousness and a Christian nation like it claims to be, they should be seeing themselves as obligated to help those people rebuild their lives. And this is something that, to that point, you know, if to the Jewish people listening to this, to the Christian people listening to this, not to this program per se, but to this thing that's occurring, this is the time for you all to really prove if you follow Jesus Christ. And this is the time for you to really stand upon belief in God, because this is clearly not the way of God. This is not the way that is acceptable in Scripture. And if you all stand by, silent, or in agreement, then you're no worse than the slave traders. You're no worse than the colonialists. You are a servant of the wicked one, because that's all this is.
And that is another military intervention in the Middle East. And I thought President Trump ran in 2016, explaining that was precisely why he was running. He wanted to stop America's senseless adventures in the Middle East.
Never think that God is not real. And never think that you can do whatever you want to with the world or on the world or to people, and that the God of justice will not one day come to their rescue. Because mind you now, if they're going to do this to those people, then what's going to stop them from doing anything? The whole world saw these children and these women being wiped out. The whole world saw a whole area turn into rubble. Now we're going to take it over? This is straight up old-fashioned conquering. Again, something that the world, the Western world, the modern world has claimed that it has gone away from. And if they're still on that colonialist, imperialist, slave master page, then what does that say about the rest of us? The others, the non-Westerners, the non-Europeans in this world. This is serious. And when an empire and a civilization reaches this point where they think they can do whatever they want, they are on the way out the door. This is the beginning of their downfall. Now, what if the Palestinians and the Muslims appeal to the Chinese for support, or to the Russians? Now we have World War III.
Yeah, that's what he has repeated time and time again. He said no new wars on his watch. He has talked about that. But also just in this moment, for a region that is going to be waking up to these comments from the president. I mean, I've been messaging with sources already, even an Israeli official acknowledging how difficult this would be to implement. What it means for the ceasefire deal that is in place.
It has nothing to do with difficulty. It's wrong. These people don't believe in morality. That's what they're showing. Morality and obedience to God has nothing to do with their thought process.
Right now, I mean, if you're Hamas, which is obviously the other party of this agreement, and they see the U.S. president saying, we're going to take over the Gaza Strip, does this mean the ceasefire deal still holds, or that, I mean, there are still hostages being held by Hamas there?
I suspect that the ceasefire deal has its own problems. As you know, essentially Israeli troops have to withdraw from certain parts. When you get to phase 2, that's a very tough bar for Israelis. The finance minister has said he's going to leave the coalition if that happens. So I think that has its own dynamic. But you're right to point to the question of Hamas. What will Hamas do? Hamas will dig in. Because Hamas will say, look, there is a prospect that there is going to be an effort to forcibly displace the Palestinians, which means we are going to dig in. We are going to try to make sure that we are, we are there to launch an insurgency if it needs to happen. And it's really important to remember that no matter how powerful you are, if you are in a foreign territory against a local insurgency and you do not have the support of the population, that is a very hard military operation to succeed at. That's what we discovered in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Vietnam. So this is not likely to be that easy. And Hamas, my guess is preparing for the prospect that they are going to have to resist some kind of American involvement. Now, whether it gets to all that, you never know, because with President Trump, he may forget about all this tomorrow. But
this is a time of moral courage on the part of the American public. The way CNN has lost all credibility. I mean, I really don't watch CNN, but I saw this clip. They don't have any credibility. They're not even commenting on it from the right framework. This is a time of moral courage. Where do we stand morally? It's immoral. You're talking about women and children. That's those people's land. An argument can be made. I heard all of the arguments. Oh, well, what if this was done to the United States? What if Mexico did this at the Texas border and we would have invaded Mexico and we have every right to defend ourselves? They were saying this on the analogy of Gaza and Israel. Yeah, of course. Yeah, they used a lot of force, but the Hamas started. Okay, let's just say for the sake of argument, we give them all of that. We grant it all for the sake of argument. What this is talking about now that everything has been pummeled to dust, now let's conquer it and move these people elsewhere. There's no standing for that at all. Have you asked the people what they wanted? Or is your view of things the view that should be followed? That's a person with a God complex. They see themselves as a divine being, and they have the right to manage or direct the lives of other human beings, and that's wrong. This is just outright wrong. So I'll leave a link to this in the description. There's more to it. I didn't even get 5 minutes in, But it's clear to me, Fareed Zakaria, I used to like him. I mean, I have some of his books. I felt he had a very balanced perspective on things. But maybe they'll go into the moral component of this. But my position is America has entered into a phase of judgment that it cannot escape. Because when this becomes the way, and if the American public and if the religious leadership of this nation stand by idle and approve of even this type of talk, and if our news outlets don't hold the American government to the fire of promoting the same values that we ourselves espouse, we don't want anyone coming to take anything that's ours, and we don't feel that anyone has the right to do that. China, Russia, any other nation, we're not living up. We are claiming democracy. We're claiming Jesus Christ, but we are, in this instance, a nation that is in complete violation. It's in hypocrisy, complete violation of everything that we say we believe in. And this is absolutely wrong. And the fact that this is not pointed out is a travesty. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Again, I'll leave a link of this video in the description. Until next time, assalamu.
I know some of you wonder what kind of nature we have. I've often wondered. I'm telling you, the biggest puzzle to me was understanding the nature of the Bilalian people, our Afro-American people. Some of you don't like the term Bilalian. It's okay with me. If you like the term Afro-American, then we still can talk. But you know, even the term Afro-American was a compromise. Afro-American, why cut the word short? Because the niggers wasn't ready to say African. They were afraid to identify with Africa. So Marcus Garvey, Afro-American. That's cutting the word short. That's just like an Irish American calling himself American. The Irish American, he's not afraid to use the whole name, Irish American. And I'm telling you, until we get that same kind of respect, get rid of that old fear in us, an unnecessary fear, an uncalled for fear in 1978. We have to get the courage and appreciation for realities, for truth, to say African American, because that's what we are. We're African Americans. Now, I don't like the term African. You know why? Because the Caucasian gave the continent that name. Now, I ain't gonna stand here all day with you and try to convince you. You go do some research. And if you don't find it, when I see you next year, I'll tell you. I like the term Bilalian. What's wrong with the term Bilalian? I was on the program with a so-called black man. Yes, sir. Now, he had black skin. I couldn't deny it. His skin was black. He told me, said, do you think you're going to get people to call themselves Bilalians? I didn't even ask him. What in the heck do you think I'm out here spending all my time on it for? He said, why can't we call ourselves Frederickrians after Frederick Douglass? I say, well, if you can get the people to accept that, I'll join you in that. And then we'll debate the value for us, the superiority of the terms for us later. But let's make the decisions right away. I'm tired of looking for a name. Politicians can't hardly speak to us. Afraid to call us Negroes. Afraid to call us colored folks. Afraid to call some of us black. Yeah. So we are just a people all torn and separated from ourselves with those silly ideas of ourselves. Shallow definitions. definitions that are shallow, that haven't taken into account the history of the people, the cultural development of the people. We haven't taken these things into account. So if we study the personality of the whole people, of the ethnic group, and study their development from the time that they were brought, connecting it with the history that they were brought from originally, then we can come up with some terms. We can come up with some names that not only my ear can hear and accept, but the inner ear that my soul can hear and accept. And that's important, brothers and sisters. We can't get anywhere just trying to satisfy, please, the voice box that is in the ear. We have to please the voice box that is in the heart, that is in the soul of our people. And I'm telling you, as long as you're coming up with shallow definitions that go no deeper than skin, you are not going to satisfy the majority of us, and those that buy it will have to one day give it up for a term with deeper meaning and with a deeper history. Let me read from you a photostat copy of a document, and this, we can bring you this the original document too. We know where to go to get it. But not today. Sometime in the future, when you run into me and we both have time. Says here, written out from memory by Bilal Muhammad. Now let's see, let's go on. We want to see who this Bilal Muhammad is. You think that's somebody the chief name. Let's go on. A Muslim slave of Sapelo Island, Georgia. Portions of the message by Abu Muhammad Abdullah Ibn Abi Zayd al-Kirawani, a standard legal work by a North African author, included the end papers of Slave Songs of the Georgia Sea Islands by Lydia Parrish, 1942, Creative Age Press, Incorporated, New York. Bilal Muhammad was a Muslim slave on the Sapelo Island plantation of a Thomas Spaulding. So if he hadn't been a Muslim aware that he was a Muslim, he would be known as Spaulding. Maybe George Spaulding, William Spaulding, or Thomas Spaulding, or maybe L.T. Spaulding, C.D. Spaulding, C.J. Spaulding.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead, break it down. Yes, sir.
R.T. and L.T. Spaulding.
Yes, sir.
He practiced Islamic habits of prayer and diet. All praise is due to Allah. He spoke the West African Fulani language, as well as English and French. 4 of his 7 daughters were named Fatima, after her mother, Yoruba, Medina, and Bintu. He was from Timbu, a city in Bambara Kingdom, and apparently he was a young law student at the time of his capture. As famous as Bilal, the first muezzin of Prophet Muhammad, as famous as that man was in the history of Islam, don't you know that there were many other Muslims of his hue who wanted his name? It's inconceivable that some Bilalian mothers, some African black-skinned mothers didn't name their babies Bilal. Here is historical proof that they did. And also here is historical proof that our slave ancestors, among them is Muslim Bilal. Now go back and study your history again. Go back and study black studies again. Believers, Muslim brothers and sisters, you people who embrace the healthy concepts that we embrace, I'm not railing at you. I'm speaking to those so-called black people. I don't care if they're not here. I'm trying to torture those that are in the grave. I hope my voice will go down and strike the earth and disturb those that are in the grave who want to reject everything because their shallow vision of things and their limited intelligence didn't permit them to see the truth. Yes, Bilal Muhammad. Bilal was an Ethiopian, and he was made a slave by Arab people. And it was the Arab people who freed him. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that a beautiful parallel? We were made slaves by the Christian Caucasian of the West, Europe and America. And it was the Christian Caucasian that said these people have to be freed. It was a heathen, idolatrous slave master that held Bilal. But it was a dignified man converted from idolatry by the name Abu Bakr, an Arab who became the first ruler after the passing of the great prophet, the universal prophet, Muhammad, may peace be upon him and all the righteous servants. This Abu Bakr, he went and paid the slave master that owned Bilal the ransom money. He demanded a big price, more than what was ordinarily asked for slaves. But Abu Bakr paid the price anyway and bought the freedom of Bilal. Later in the history of Bilal, Bilal was sad and weeping, and he didn't want to stay around Mecca and Medina because those places reminded him of his beloved friend, his emancipator, Prophet Muhammad, the prophet of Arabia, sent to all the world. So Bilal, he told Abu Bakr, I can't stay here any longer. I want to leave. He decided that he was going to Syria. And you know, Syria is a country that is not of a dark hue. The people are not of a dark hue. Their skins are not Kentucky coal black. Their skin look very much like Caucasian skin. In fact, by a scientific description or definition, they are Caucasian, the Syrian people. But Bilal wanted to go there, to Syria. And Bilal expressed this desire to his boss. Abu Bakr was the Khalifa. Now he's the ruler. When he bought paid for the ransom, the freedom of Bilal, he wasn't the ruler. He was just one paying to buy Bilal's freedom. But now he is the ruler. And Abu Bakr didn't want to let Bilal go. Abu Bakr put this question to him. Listen to it. He said, have you freed me that I should be the servant of Allah, or have you freed me that I should be your servant? Oh, that's prophetic. That's prophetic. Isn't that what we have been saying to the Lord for now more than 100 years? Since Abraham Lincoln, the Caucasian man who freed us from the physical slave grip of the South? Isn't that what we have been saying to the Northern American? Have you freed me that I should be your servant? Or have you freed me that I can be free as all other human beings are free? Study the history of Bilal, and if you don't see a prophetic figure resembling us, the whole people, a figure speaking to our problems and to our beautiful destiny, that we are not free to be possessed again by the one who freed us. We are free to go independently for ourselves. Yes, sir. As all other people are free to do. He was going to Syria. He went. He went to Syria. He married there, and he was buried there. They built a masjid there for Bilal, or a mausoleum for Bilal. When the Syrian president and the Muslim community of Syria got the news that I had named our race Bilalian, they got busy to build a new masjid, a new mausoleum for Bilal. I don't care what religion I believed in. I don't care if I believed in something so foreign to what we believe in that it made me look like I didn't come from the same planet that the Muslims come from. Knowing that we share one history, we share one painful history and one glorious rise from that history. And we share one enduring spirit, the spirit to endure in human treatment and yet stand up as a human being and tell the inhuman races his shame. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Yes, isn't that beautiful? A people reduced to inhuman existence for 3 centuries rise up every time they're slain or crucified or lynched or shot down, rise up the next morning and say, you should be ashamed of yourself, you inhuman slave master, you torturing racist. Oh, I'm telling you, that's a thing to be proud of. We are people that have been burnt in the fire, tempered in the fire, and made rigid as a human being with a human spirit. And there's no diamond tool, there's no tool to break our rigidity. There's nothing to destroy our human form. Because God, He has tempered us and formed us never to be broken. Never to be broken. Dear beloved Muslims, don't you know this is the glory of our history? Yes, sir. The great victory for us in our history is not saying that I'm black, or saying that I must have freedom. The great victory for us is saying that I'm still human after you've sent me through the mill that was designed to produce a monkey, a dog, a rat. I come out of the mill still in the human form. Allahu Akbar. Shut out of the environment that is conducive to healthy human growth. Denied culture, culturally deprived. Denied civilized kind of encouragement and inspiration. Denied the opportunity to sit in an environment of culturally uplifted people. Left off in the bad, poor, starved, neglected parts of the world, and shut off from the civilizing and culture-inspiring kinds of things that other people have. Is that right? This is our history. This is not the condition today, but this is what we have come through. We haven't been formed under the new day, by the new day. We are people formed out of the old day. But in the new day, we don't have to be reformed, not as people loving the human spirit. We still want to embrace human beings. Right now, we can embrace any man, though he looks like the very one who lynched or tortured us or denied us freedom. We can embrace him if he proved to us that he is a human being and that he has no problems embracing us. That's the great victory. That's the great victory for us. We have not been reduced to animals, though we have been put in a factory that produce animals.
That's right.
And if we all come to our true human identity and see that that's the first identity, and that's the most important identity, and you know the Bible says, the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Now I can see that happening, I can see that have been fulfilled in the world. The first identity was us identifying as human. Human. Not as Africans and Asians and Europeans, as and if we all come to our true human identity and see that that's the first identity, and that's the most important identity, and you know the Bible says, the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Now I can see that happening, I can see that have been fulfilled in the world. The first identity was us identifying as human. Human. Not as Africans and Asians and Europeans, as human. Not as black and white and red, as human. Not as Americans and Chinese, no, as human. That's the first identity. And the Bible says that the first shall be last. That first have become last. We put our black skin before our human identity. We put our American citizenship before our human identity. We're Americans. We know that. That's first. We're Americans. Or I'm an African American. I'm a black American. I'm a Polish American. I'm a Jewish American, whatever. We put these identities, and these identities have separated us from the original identity. I said this at another previous engagement I had this year, and I will say it again here. If you put your color, your ethnicity, or your race, or anything else on you as an identity, and you get out of touch, you lose the awareness that you are human first, those identities are going to fail you. They're going to fail you. They're going to end up contributing to your deterioration. Get you in serious trouble in time. How can a person be a racist if they are first grounded upon their human identity? How can they be racist? No way. So does Satan have to make you forget your human identity to make you a racist, or to turn you against your brothers and sisters in humanity? If we get back in touch with our identity that God gave us, that he gives us when he say you all are the children of Adam, we can make great progress. Your soul will be lifted up. The burden will be taken off your soul. Your mind will awaken to do greater and more beautiful things. Yes, you'll be free. In our religion, false worship is the worst form of oppression. Now, African Americans, when we think of oppression, we think of white supremacy. We think of our circumstances as slaves on the plantation. We think of discrimination, segregation, and all the wrong done to us by white folks when we think of oppression. But that's not the worst oppression. The worst oppression is for you to have a false authority over your life. Now, in ancient times, in my conclusion, in ancient times, medieval times too, but mainly in ancient times, images were made of the powers and authorities that were working and ruling in the life of people. They made images for them of people who love sex, and sex seemed to have been the main driving force in their life. they were given a deity that meant sex, having sex. And they would worship that deity. Yes, they would have celebrations and dance and shout and everything around that sex organ. This is history. This is history, brothers and sisters. And you know Africa, the name Africa, it goes back to a mythical deity, a female, Aphrodite. If you say she is an Aphrodite, you mean she's oversexed? She wants it too often and too much? So we have to understand these myths, how these myths have come into our life. Now, we have more gods in this modern time than the medieval people had in their time, or than the ancient people had in their time. We just haven't given images for them. Most of us are worshiping sex organs. Your God is a sex organ. You just haven't made an image of him yet. And you have many, many gods. So let's us separate myth from religion and be truly free. Thank you. Peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, greetings. We're there with you. Things in Time, Cultural Expression. We named the program Social Order because we speak of so many things and yet still we have not come up with solutions. We haven't developed from the past to this present. Our communities needs to be structured. Social science have been advocating. We need systems. We need institutions that maintains and presents stability and prevent chaos. We need to examine rules and regulations and apply law within our institutions. So evidently we can flourish as a people with moral and sensible cultured behaviors. We need to maintain an order within ourselves, whether we are Pan-Africans, whether we are Christians, whether we are Muslims, whatever we are. But one thing that we are is humans. And the next one thing that we're Africans. We mustn't allow this new program to create skirmish and division among ourselves, saying that we are this and we're that and we're not this and we're not that. We'll be squabbling for years, and it would eventually disunite us. And we have serious problems. We lack institutions, so we don't have intellectual guidance, cultured intellectual guidance within ourselves. We do not provide health institutions and supermarkets so that we are in control of our substance, food. We're consumers across the board. We need to take and examine ourselves to become a balanced people. Social order it is us responding to what society, government are portraying. We will acknowledge and only participate in what is essential to us. There are many particular systems within government institutions, and there are but so many that can aid us if we but knew and work towards that, maintaining our African culturedness. Yes, why we're consumers is because we act, live, and exist as if we don't know who we are. And we're waiting for our previous slave masters, now in institutions, now in governments, now running the system, to direct us. That's what we are doing. Anyone thinks that we're not doing that, let's prove ourselves. We're constantly debating futile, ignominious topics. We're constantly browbeating one another. Why structures are there that we're not acknowledging? And we're discussing parties. Whether it's Democrat, Labor, Liberals, Republican, the elephant and the donkey, and not discussing and developing ourselves. Futile waste of time and energy. And yet still we're immoral. No behavior, no discipline. There's nothing to write home to grandma about character. There's nothing. It's full of vulgarity and hideous and useless things. And yet still, some of us say with the same breath that we're providing or wish to provide services or a service for my child. And it's always my child. It's not like other people's children or children in general or young people particularly or our culture or our communities. But that's what the meaning is, right? But then one leads by example, or not just lead, one presents examples. Yes, because it's about character, it's about influences, about influence and influences. And no matter how small the accolade is, it has an influence. It will be noticed or heard. If one person use it, that's one too many. So rules and laws Across the diaspora, we know what they are. If we had our institutions, or if we were communing together, we would discuss those things so we don't violate them. And then we set standards of rules within ourselves and for ourselves. This is order. And show respect to our females. And develop courageousness in academia. And explore, repeat, and explore the continent of Al-Kubalan. We're not exploring Africa. We're allowing people to browbeat Africa and saying some hideous things of Africa. And none of us are experiencing Africa ourselves. We can look at our entertainment development and recognize or realize that we have made billions. Can look at sports and see the same. Then the rule of social science and social order would be, what have we accomplished? Lots of different tribes see us as ignoramus, useless people. Because we achieve economical growth. But it would appear, and it has appeared, that we don't know what to do with it. That we haven't, up to this point, know its value and don't see ourselves as valuable people. Chains, excess amount of jewelry, excess amount of vehicles, motor vehicles, and no investment in ourselves. And then followed by long court cases with the tax office or the law for whatever reason, and then divorce. And people can go around and see a lot of people that earn the least 40, 50, 60, 70 million in a basketball career, hundreds of millions in a football career, and then when you put your feet on the accelerator in basketball, it then goes up to the hundreds of millions. And many are eating off the street after having spent 10, 12, 15 years exciting the world. Slaves, globetrotter slave. And it's not like these brothers did not attend college. Maybe 1 out of 100 somehow made it through because the bigger bosses them said, well, and they pulled some strings here and there. But everyone have attended college. And Elijah, Malcolm, Martin, Stokely Carmichael, named but a handful, were available. The message didn't change. The needs didn't change. The atrocities didn't change. And then we go all the way up to the 90s, and then it accelerated again in the 2000s. Mass police killings. And the collateral are the economical growth of these athletes spiraled to hundreds of millions. All forms of endorsements. And it couldn't be that we were blind or we were deaf. We just weren't speaking politely. We were chaotic. That's my take. Gotta be chaotic. No one was paying attention to the Imam. I mean, we were, but I'm saying no one, as in the general population of us. There was lots of jumping up with this JJJ and giving all that they have to the preacher. The preacher and his family and his associates look good. Some of them become bored and they start doing some exotic things, and then many of them, their lives get ruined. They've done some bad things, interfering with other human beings and saying that God told them. When they get catch. So in the churches, in the religious space, we've exploited that because the institution created individual chaos, didn't have no social design, no social order, didn't have no rules, didn't have no laws, and it was a private institution. It wasn't community, but it has been designed to attract members of the community. And those members of the community feel that they're aiding and supporting God, not understanding that God don't need to be aided or supported. It's we, the humans, along with the whole earth and the animals and nature itself, that needs to be maintained and is maintained if we only but look and pay attention to nature. Now, am I saying this? So the inadequacies are us. And the finite of that is us. We just got to clean our eyes and our ears and develop patience and tolerance and question ourselves and develop cultural esteem. Seriously. Maximize that by associating ourselves with ourselves and stop using derogatory terms to communicate with one another. This is crazy. It's not good. It's not good. Anyone that's willing should try this for 1 week within the household, their own household, and their close friends. You know what I mean? With us, we say brothers and sisters, but in the close friends. And in the same process, make sure those close friends you're sharing a meal with, not street food Not sitting down in someone's restaurant, sitting down as families in each other's homes. Having polite conversation and being role models for the children, and have common courtesy and values, because the sisters will deliver, as in cook a lovely dish. And all we have to be is very polite, cordial, and don't discuss nonsense. Look at life. And then we swap. Few days later, we attend our other brothers. They came to us, now we're going to them. This is an extended relationship that becomes a relationship that becomes bonding. Not street food and barbershop conversations and wine bar conversations and no. Nope. See, this is where we need the rules and the maintenance of cultural rules and cultural laws. Done by who? By ourselves. We need to develop infrastructures of our liking, because then we will care and maintain such. One will see our children excelling in academia because they will have and instill in their soul cultural values, ethical values, moral love, dignity, great aspiration for tomorrow's tomorrow. Not today. Today is when we are working. Tomorrow is when we're going to excel. But we're working and developing today. All we got to do is prepare ourselves and prepare our children. Preparedness. We're not preparing. We prepare for the Basketball Federation, the Football Federation, the Athletics Federation. We prepare for all of those things. We do. If you don't see it, think about it now. Because in the training and the preparation, we're preparing. We make ourselves totally available. We do. Day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, we do that. What do we do for ourselves as a people? How do we maintain our communities? Which community? But yet still, we have vision to watch and admire others. And if we were hospitable, then we should have been asking them, how were you able to do this? How did you get this? And how long did it take you to develop these institutions that you have? I mean, we got churches. You've got colleges. You've got kindergarten. You've got nursery. You've got clinics. But you've got supermarkets. You actually got dealership in transport. And if one culture turns around and says, but we see you on ESPN and NBC constantly, every week throughout that season, those seasons. And I'm telling you, you people can run fast. Weren't you running away as slaves? And you go, what? I said, weren't you? I said, yeah. So why are you still running? For the same people that you're running from, you're running for still now. Weren't the experience that Jesse Owens had something to learn that taught you all something? Weren't Bob Beamon experience learned you something, taught you all something? Weren't the Muhammad Ali draft experience taught you all anything? Then that which happened to Marcus Garvey taught you all anything? And it goes on and on and on. And the assassination of Martin and others from the nation with Malcolm, Brother Stoke. There were a lot that was in prison and died there. And there were a lot that was lynched. And there were a lot that was killed. So what are we saying? And we don't need to be saying anything. What is our intention for the future for our children and our grandchildren? Can't be discussing Democrats and Republican, Labor, Conservative, and Liberals. Nonsense. Nonsense. It ain't going to change anything. Because we're not dealing with ourselves. Can't you get it? But stop running away from Islam. I would say, I don't know who that person was. I used to think that T.G. Jakes would have been that person, but something happened. Seriously. I thought Clifford Abdullah could be that young person. Something happened. I used to watch these people. I watched him when he came in, this Abdullah, and I found that it was strange that he had such a name, but nevertheless, how he introduced himself and so forth, and situation changed. And none of these things are about the development of us. But they make tens and thousands and millions of dollars. Can't you see the exploitation? And this is not a Muslim saying, that these prosperity people are seriously bad. They are. But I'm not highlighting that to have an edge. It's what we're not doing for ourselves. We're exploiting ourselves. I'm coming from a poor background, a depleted community of poverty, and found a niche. And I go theological school and come back and arouse my people because I know my people. But then I'm also supported by elders because they see that I have a way of expressing words and playing with words. And then they teach me guide me, and then I fall in love with it. And then the people are attracted. Hook, line, and sinker. What I initially wanted to do is lost. And that fear and that love of wanting to get close to God vanishes. God is just a segment or eavesdrop, a drop, a pitch that I use sometimes, but I don't have to, because the place that I'm within actually meant to represent God. So I'm spending time working on the emotions of people. And then I become good at it, because I watch how the people act and react towards me. And not just me, but the words I say, whatever I say, and what I do. And I realize what influences is all about. And I become a great influencer. Who is helping me to distort life? You all. Because you're not asking questions. And you're not demanding that your lives be changed and transformed. The poverty that you're living within, the education that's missing, the responsibility, the common courtesy, and the raising of a family is missing. You're not asking. You're allowing, because you feel that what I'm bringing is taking you to God. And years go by. And you ain't seeing nothing but glamour. And then just to top it, I tell you what I need. And you're still in asking questions. So I know that I've got you all hook, line, and sinks. I've used some sociology. I used some psychology. That's what I've done. And it becomes relatively easy. I don't have to do a great deal anymore. I become the super charmer because you allowed me to. And some of us don't intend to do such, but you all put it on a platter, and only a fool would deny it. And that fool is one that doesn't really have any care for God. He's not a righteous person. Now we've got females doing the same thing. So it's not about men. Everybody that gets into that pulpit and develop these things they call in churches and whatever, the same outcome. But I tell you that I need a plane. I need to upgrade my jet, my plane, my flying transport. And I tell you how much that I feel it's going to actually cost. And you all award me, my administration, that money. And you all ever think to yourself, why hasn't he said we need supermarkets, we need health clinics, we need universities, we need research laboratories. None of you think that. But I'm exploiting your wife. I'm exploiting your daughters. And I tell you that God is the one who told me to consecrate them. And you still don't kick me out of the congregation. Now that's some kind of serious influence. So you see what theological education can do? Shouldn't be doing, but hey, it wasn't meant to. I mean, God isn't wrapped up in theology, but how did it get there? I mean, you got to think that if this book was from God, why so many different people writing it? but they've used a word that says it's by inspiration. So, and then you got this bogus nonsense where a person that never met Isa, Christ, and then that person comes and tell you all about Christ, and that person was a persecutor of a gang, of a sectarian group that was very much against the disciples and the teachings of Moses and Christ. But that person has become the beloved of all religious congregations, no matter where it is on this earth. And this is where all these vile things are happening. Why don't you all see that? And for us, it's a simple thing. We're God-fearing people. And we allow people to come and hoodwink and lead us. Why don't we ask questions? And in school, they taught all of us, primary school, to raise our hands and ask a question. But at the same time, sometimes we raise our hands for the longest, and the lesson get changed, and the teacher tell you to put your hands down. And sometimes they have their own favorite little pets, and they would ask that one or two constantly, but we never get a chance, the rest of us. So as we experience that from primary school, we don't even try it at secondary. And how the hell are we going to try it at high school or at college, even university? Because we don't aspire to go to no college and we don't aspire to go to no university. There you go. And we want to just go play basketball, play football, and get into the athletics meet. And you understand? Or the drug man. And sometimes the drug man don't look like us. It's someone else that puts us there and control the thing and give us some quick money. Some money quickly. Now we're really bought and sold. And we don't feel bad killing one another because we know that Master has got our backs. I mean, come on. It's so corrupt. So, tomorrow I will continue maintain blackness and social order. And maybe I should call it disorder, but that's too hard. I'm searching to present stability and structure. And we're close because we have a lot of educated people among us. We just need to be disciplined, encouraging towards them, and develop some serious hospitality. And do everything possible to prevent chaos. Work on enthusiasm. That's what we need to do. Work on enthusiasm. We, as other human beings, we are beautiful people. We just need to be a dignified people for ourselves, towards ourselves. And stop looking at the Caucasian and giving them credit for being superior, because when we do that, we're saying we're inferior. And then it shows that we are actually realize things. So if we are realizing things, why aren't we doing something for ourselves. Plain amusement is not development. It's discouraging, especially when it's not orchestrated, it's not organized, it's not within. And it's not that others don't have that, you know. But the main importance they've kept, and they've developed structures within. So when they come for plain amusement, it's all about a celebration. It's all about presenting a factor of their culture. Whether it's in Mozart, whether it's in art, whether it's in ballet, as in classical movements, whether it's in cuisines, or whether it's in science and technologies. Whether it's in textile, whether it's in horticulture, not agriculture, even that. I mean, culture is so vast, but some of us, seems that culture is plain amusement, dance and more dance and more dance, and despicable, no clothes wear, and always want to be at the Grammys. You're nobody. We're nobodies unless we get up in the midst of people who like us to be dumb. Once they transform us, they understand that, you know, they're the influencers. I don't understand why our academics ain't discussing and projecting where we've lost and where we're losing and what we need to be focusing on. And maybe it's because they're not felt cherished. It's so much chaotic, and, you know, they don't see us some form of stability around and about them. So naturally they will attend institutions that have stability and no chaos, no chaotic and bad omens and everything. Everybody would do that, man. No one want to hang around, stand up in some stink bomb type of atmosphere. No one wants to do that. No one. So why are we creating such atmospheres? So I want to play 2 songs and gone as per normal, right? These Bible verses are serious. So don't run. It's so serious. Don't run. Come here.
Last Saturday night, when I reached the party, everything was right. Then Babylon red, them red, me catch me Fred, me catch me Fred. It was like 3 blind mice. You could have see how them run. It was like 3 blind mice. You coulda see how them run. Button sticks start fly. Man start to ball. Some jump the fence. Some put up the fence. But you catch me, friend. When Babylon rain. Please check the DJ. Tell him to turn up sound. The crowd never like that. Them start gathering round, let the music play.
Yes, Rasta youth. My father tell me say give one of the thing hard, you know. So I just go daddy selection. Say here what now? Hold this one here. Don't run no. Come here.
Down, press some man. Where you gonna run to? Down, press some man. Where you?
Yeah, don't complain to the people them, you know. You understand? Cause up front we want me to listen that. And these songs here now, everything me just suggest now, and everything about the whole program, these songs here from my reggae Bible, I hit you hard. May I tell you, share it with a friend, don't complain. Come! You have to get it on this station.
Press some man. Where you gonna run to? Down, press some man. Where you gonna run to? Down, press some man. Where you gonna run to? All along that day. You gonna run to the sea. But the sea will be boiling when you run to the sea. The sea will be boiling when you run to the sea. The sea will be boiling all along that way.
Yeah, you see, if them love me if I express myself without copyright blocking and all them something there, I tell you, man, would I control the place long time, because people, them not hear them sound. They don't even know what the sound them mean. Come here again one more time and don't run, don't hide, call your friend. Come!
Lucifer, son of the morning, I'm gonna chase you out of earth.
A serious thing, you know. I tell you, man, when we put judgment from the people them and turn my Bible pages in a Proverbs, I frighten them, you know. Them say, who that boy there? Cut him off. Get him off the station. Come here. Come.
Lucifer, son of the morning, I'm gonna chase you out of earth. Iron shirt and chase Satan out of earth. I'm gonna put on an iron shirt and chase the devil out of earth. I'm gonna send him to outer space to find another race. I'm gonna send him to outer space to find another race. Satan is a evilous man, but him can't choke sit on I man. So when I check him, my lass in hand, and if him slip a gun with him hand. I'm gonna put on an iron shirt and chase Satan out of earth. I'm gonna put on an iron shirt and chase the devil out of earth. I'm gonna send him to outer space to find another race. I'm gonna send him to outer space to find another race. Oh yeah.
Yes, half pint, full pint, birthday greetings to you, man. You understand? All right. Say you what now, people. I'm gone, you know. Because my mother just come on the scene and say, yo, you follow your father, you know, be careful, don't get yourself in trouble. You understand me? Because you play them tune too hard at this time of the day and everything. You understand? So mommy and daddy, you know, them dip on this. Hey, yo, the greatest audience me have is my mother and my father. Yeah, you hear what I'm saying? Yo, say you what now? We say guidance. You know what I mean? Tell a friend, tell a person. But don't complain to the people, them. Say yeah, things in time, cultural expression. My name is Mr. Best. May I tell you, man, this one here truly confess. Come here, Marcia, Aisha, yo, Ross, the artist, the wise. You I tell you, man, Tipo Tone strong, strong, strong. Can't go wrong. May I tell you, hop, let's go. Yo, Maestro, hey, don't feel away now, because I love you, man. Hey, Star, I love you like cook food. Come, and water too. Listen to this. Grandmother.
I've got to make it, keep on pushing, some way, somehow. I've got to make it, keep on pushing.
Yo, this is all the way down in the 60s, you know. See? You understand? And you say, oh, we're right? And anybody who thinks that alternate is wrong, huh? And Larry Marshall, come here! Great studio one.
I've got to make it, keep on pushing, some way, somehow. I've got to make it, keep on pushing. I've got to make it, keep on pushing, some way, somehow. You can make.
Oh my gosh, my mom is crying, man. Yo, what? Eh? What? At the time you fell in love or something, yo, relax, man. Hey, yo, Marcia, get some water, give mommy, man. Because, oh my gosh, man. Mommy, I cry. Oh gosh. Water, Marcia. Aisha, rub some water upon mom's cheeks and everything. Yo. Mommy, breathe, you know. We don't want no medical accidents. But, hey, you see them lyrics there? I tell you, man. Grandmother, grandfather. Oh gosh, man. Come.
I've got to make it, keep on pushing, some way, somehow. I've got to
Yeah, you see, you have some bad minded people out there, you know, and them just complain and them, them do a thing. Hey, anyway, I don't know still, you know what I mean? I say that because I just feel a way when the people them say, you think black. I'm so small, you know. I tell you, man. But the people them just, them just get for know some tune to me still, you know. Cause another regular thing them. You understand? So where I say, you're never too young to learn. We are go away somewhere. You understand? People them want to know, say, why me not say nothing about yard? Yo, what happened to yard was a blessing. Serious thing. Right? The loss of life, yes, obviously. But what I'm down there, sir, is a serious blessing. Because me as a minister, I tell you straight away. The Lord send wind, some serious wind, and cover all the garments them. See? So you have to read between that, look at it, examine it. See that government is not government. But now we have an opportunity to scan the whole island now, look for gun. You understand? And cleanse the place as much as we can, using the technologies them and so forth. And find where anybody a hide gun or store gun. You understand me? And we can take advantage of that. A good thing. If I was a minister, all the other ministers them, we pray and thank the Lord that we not some life, a lot of lives wasn't lost in the process. But life still there. Properties as face the consequences. You know what I mean? Devastation to properties. But the people them was bad. Not the people them that did it. But it's a message that the government feel criminalization and guns and everything. You understand? And all the decadence and the nakedness and everything. So now you see everybody naked. All house roof them. Hey, some house gone completely. You understand? So that's a nakedness that nature they say, yo, we're tired of your behavior. So a preacher is supposed to look upon that and say that, don't say that him knew this was coming. No, he's a liar. He can't say, yo, here what happened. Just as I'm saying it. And we need to retreat. And now we're going to have to come together as neighbors in our districts and help one another and rebuild. But the best thing is, those of us who can talk like that, we're alive. Now we can look upon our government and see that the government ain't running nothing. The government behave like artists. And make some people them feel, say, yeah, we there with you. And all them something there. And now the government is required, the government is found not able, because they not spend them time thinking and developing the people them and the quarters. And people that get online and say, yo, England, no, you're supposed to talk to it and say, yo, we need help. And those people that call themselves artists and sign up this and sign up that for run America and get Grammy, and them people are supposed to dip them hand in them bank account and everything. And it's not even money. Them need skillful people and pay the people them to put back on the amenities and put back on the roof them and help rebuild the people them places and everything. It's now you run concert. It's now you run concert, but when you run concert now, who the money I come from? So concert is not required, you dumb jackass. Can you imagine you're running concert and everybody's in despicable condition? Where they go get the royalty money from that them need themselves? Them need the money supposed to come from you. So you see, everything gone the other way. When I run so much concerts in 4 months and then still add some crews, how on earth did a prime minister allow such nonsense to happen? That should have been barred and stopped. But nah. The crews come because Caucasians, them a deal with the something, them a make money, and them a promote what? Them cruiser and them holiday thing, and yeah, and we're so ignorant. But then we pretend that we care about the people. A lie, I tell. It's a lie. See, we don't value ourselves. Who else can value it? So I say, never too young to learn. Guidance, we're gone. And I'm a Muslim. Remember that, you know. Yes, so I look on the screen, you see the concept of blackness in Islam, in Al-Islam. You see the word Al-Islam, remember I said, we not joke with things, right? And then you see my books, them, yeah, where I mentally, intellectually reside on the other side. And I show you how to set up structures and develop tutors and reliable peoples. You understand? It's a training manual. You understand? And all you have to do is get a copy and read and then apply. But the concept of blackness in Al-Islam is a series that's going to be continued by our brother Al-Rahman. You understand? And we're coming from the intellectual institution of Imam Worthy Muhammad. I understand? Yo, serious thing. Hold fast. Don't let go. Keep listening to us. You understand me? And don't and some Muslims out there don't condemn, you know. You must listen to the words within the songs. You understand? And remember, you have a culture. You came from a particular tribe, and so do I. You understand? So I'm not going to I will not throw my tribe and aspects of my tribe in the dustbin or flush it down the toilet. No. That's why I talk about my mother, my father, and my grandparents, them. You understand? Yes. Very important. Very, very important. Right? A person from Indonesia and Malaysia, they have their culture. No doubt. A person from Persia have their culture. No doubt. Watch the way they dress, all of these people I'm speaking. Huh? You understand? Malaysia is high in technology, high in academic, high in science, high in medicine. You understand? Why is my one just athletics? Yeah? And then you want to complain about 2 songs. Huh? Okay, get yourself in order. Put yourself in order, get your house in order, look at your culture, see what remnants there is that you can retain, and so forth, and move from there. Yeah? Our father, Muslim father, Bilal, rather than Anu, he was an Abyssinian. Did you know that? So should he eat what you all want to call Islamic food? Come on, man. He ate food like we're eating now. Now, on top of that, we're saying that halal is important. Make a serious distinction for the universality of all Muslims. We want halal food, pure, organic, unpolluted food, or meat. You understand? Okay. So you know that part, right? Okay. And we don't drink. Yeah, we do drink, but we don't deal with intoxications and things like that. You understand? And we don't womanize and all of these very important ingredients and things, we don't deal with them things. Right? We don't go around piercing and slicing their faces and things like that. You understand? So they are, and then you come to the Indians and the Pakistanis and everything. They have a very rich and vital and vitality of culture, clothes, mannerisms, and everything. All these people. So, what do you want to do to us? Oh, you want to help those that is depleting Sudan and feel good about that, right? You want to help those who have depleted Iraq. You want to help those who have depleted Libya. Now, Libya, we must give a real 3 days lecture on Libya. Because a lot of Africans seem not to understand or recognize or are willing to explain why Libya was important to us and why Libya needed to be stopped by the Wazungu, by the Caucasians. And we did have an understanding from the 80s about how to irrigate the desert, how to maximize the sun. But you all don't know that. I do. And that's why I mentioned the time span of the 80s. Those students, those Libyan students, were studying all across Europe. And they were experimenting all across Europe. But then they took their oil and support the general population. There was no poverty in Libya. And everybody got education. The hierarchy, there were none. The West only knew Colonel Gaddafi. The evolution of Gaddafi is something you need to understand and look at. He spent a lot of time trying to represent Islam. But then he spent a lot of time making Tawbah. And then he spent a lot of time reverting. There's an example there for all of us. And now we have Burkina Faso. And we still have the Congo problem. And now we have this man shouting out about what he will do as a new crusader. Now, come on. And this goes out to those diasporans and those Americans that said Palestine has nothing to do with us. What you going to do now? I mean, what should we do? Really and truly, what should we do? But then you're going to say to your Christian, it's all good, it's going to help you. Don't be stupid. Do not be stupid. But we will come back to that at another time. May God forgive me of anything wrong that I've said. May God bless you all to hear what I've said and comprehend and make use and have conversations within yourselves and your family. You know? Yesterday, I coached one person. I tutored one person. And I was cool with that. And the person told me how much they liked that. And I said, is that for real? And they said, the main thing is, I had you all for myself. And then I had to explain that I'm here being nervous that if my wife came, I'd be in trouble. And the sister, the young person was, the sister was a Nigerian. And she said, wow. And I said, yeah, because we're in this space together. There's nobody else here but us and God. And then she wanted to drop me home. And I said, no, we can't do that either. I'm telling you. I said, I'm cool. Why? I said, no. I can't do that. You understand? And I said, and right now, I'm still nervous because if my wife is in the car park, she's not going to take this easy because she's going to say, is there anybody else? And I'm going to say, no, only you and her. I'm saying, yes. And the sister goes, okay. And I said, what do you mean, okay? She said, I understand. And I said, because that's a tradition back home, right? And she said, yeah. So I said, so why we come to a foreign land and throw these things to the side? She said, I don't know. You understand? And that was, hey, I had to put in my calendar today. You know? Yeah. And she's going to be, once she wants to play the game on a team level, she's going to be a wonderful player. That's not because of me, because of her intellectual maturity. Yeah, you understand? She follows and she asks questions. You know what I mean? That's it. And that's how you learn. You just don't take someone else's thing and just move with it. But anyway, too much about myself. Guidance with God.